Hello, Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable day today on Wednesday. It has been the last few weeks for me. There are some things that we are working on within the company and its numerous subsidiaries that I'm extremely exciting about. It's extremely challenging and stretching, but I'm excited about it nonetheless because it's about growth for me. It's about advancement and progress, not comfort. Um, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, good morning, Raw Lily 22. Look, before I get started, I want to remind you of two things. First and foremost, if you have not joined the Epic Realm community of high achievers and a network community that I put together that's private, that is designed for people who are aspiring to grow, to develop, to become successful, to gain ground. If you have not joined that community, you're missing out, man. We're excited. I decided back in August of last year that 2022 was going to be the most epic year of my life. And for me, that's saying a lot. And that's putting a lot of pressure on myself to do some pretty exceptional and extraordinary things. And so I decided that was going to be it. Then I decided I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted to experience it with people. And so I started to challenge people back in last year that we were going to do something exceptional. And I decided to help people create a winning circle. And I decided, okay, what we would do is we would start with the community and let people within the community build their circles from within the community. Because I can tell you, family tends to consult your past, consult their history, and determine what you're capable of. People tend to want to keep you within the confines of where they're comfortable. And so a lot of times you don't have the friends in your circle that you need. Your circle is comprised of people that you have been around for the past, and where you're headed they're not headed, and they can't connect, they cannot. And so you need a new circle. You need to be intentionally developing a circle. There's a saying in my field that says that you will be an average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. You need to find people who are excelling. You need to find people who will raise your average. If you're around people that are where you're at or below, your average is going to hover where it's at or drop even some. So what you need to do is you need to create that. So I decided to create Epic Realm. Man, we are having a blast. We're doing weekly Q&A sessions. We have breakout rooms in mental health, breakout rooms in business, breakout rooms in finance, breakout rooms in relationships. We have constant expert engagement. We are really, truly excited. And the goal is to make 2022 the most epic year of your life. I mean, epic. I mean, something that will be remembered forever. This is the chance to pivot your life and take it to the next level. It doesn't happen by osmosis. It doesn't happen by wishful thinking. It doesn't happen just based on hope. It happens when you make a decisive decision to do things differently. I believe this is a part of it. This is an annual membership that we're going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. We are really doing some things. I am excited about the people coming. And the beautiful thing to me, which really blew my mind, is a lot of the experts are going to be people who are my former clients, people who actually heard about it and decided to join. So instead of me having to recruit them to come talk to you, they actually became members because they understand the importance and the relevance and the benefit of it. So if you haven't joined, the link is in there to join it. Please do so. Also, hey, what's going on, Bruce and Lee? Look, second, one of the most restrictive forces in your life is your belief system. Limiting beliefs shut down so much of what we say we want in life. A lot of us are looking at stuff and we've actually been convinced by our past, convinced by people in our periphery, convinced by a bunch of other people that it's not possible. And once you take on a belief, the only limit you actually have are the beliefs the limits you accept in your mind. Those limiting beliefs become so forceful in the way that you move. They become the paradigm that shapes and governs your behavior and therefore locks you into a certain level of performance and the quality of life. I'm going to talk to you about that later, but there is a course I created some years ago. I actually sold it to a major institution who for 5 years had the rights to it. And I recently got it back last year. I revamped it and I put it out there and made it affordable to everyone. That course is Crushing Limiting Beliefs. It is 15 plus beautiful lessons that are shaped to help you shift your paradigm and change your focus and create new beliefs. And man, I'm telling you, we're going to be talking about creating new beliefs. We're going to be talking about the power of neuroplasticity in the coming weeks, the power of neuroplasticity and how you can literally change what you focus on, change what you think, change what you believe, change the trajectory of your life. And this is scientifically proven. This isn't some far out talk or metaphysical discussion. This is scientifically proven. This is what I specialize in, and I want to invite you into it. But what I want you to do is, first of all, explore the very basics of changing your belief system, and you can do that with Crushing Limiting Beliefs. And so what I want to talk to you about today is something along that line about what you focus on is what you become. What you think consistently is what you become. I tell people all the time that we don't get what we want out of life. We get what we become. We get who we are. And the problem is people want things, but they don't have the ability to equate what they want with who they are and determine whether or not they're there yet. In other words, most of the things we don't have that we want is because we haven't become the person capable of producing it, capable of creating it. And so we sit there and we look at things. So you have an opportunity, and I talked about this in a post I did on social media earlier, and the distinction between a fantasy and a dream. A fantasy is something unacted upon that is simply an imagery and desire and exploration, whereas a dream is more in line with a drive towards something. In other words, a dream in its ancient description in Hebrew, for instance, is about seizing and taking hold and binding something through action. It presents itself in imagery, and then there is also a vision that is expressive of how it's done. But it starts with an idea of doing something. In other words, you have to take action. So the difference between fantasy and dream is one is just unacted upon, the other one requires and demands action, and it is normally associated with your purpose. It's normally associated with your gift. It's normally associated with your capacity to achieve and accomplish something. And so what you're designed to do, in other words, also, you have to understand that if you can conceive it in your mind, that's evidence that it's possible. Anything that you can conceive in your mind is possible. The question is, are you willing to put in the energy, the effort, the work, the time, the commitment to make it happen? That's where most people balk. It's not that it's impossible. It's that you haven't committed at a level that says I'm willing to achieve it. You haven't committed in investing time. You haven't committed in investing money. You haven't committed in investing in reading and studying and learning. You don't want to commit to the necessary discomforts of change. Change comes with discomfort. Why is change uncomfortable? Because it pulls you out of your place of familiarity. You stop being familiar with what's happening, and you have to develop an understanding and a learning and an awareness of something new. You stop being a master of your current environment, and you become a novice in a new environment where you are no longer the big fish in the small pond. You become the guppy in the ocean, and you have to grow into your environment, and that's uncomfortable. Something my grandfather taught me that is among the top lessons, and he taught me so much, but something that is among the top lessons, he says, never be the smartest person in the room, son. He said, I feel that could be one of your greatest downfalls, is that you are extremely smart. You have this unquenched desire to learn. You're always reading and you're always going. And it can be easy for you to find yourself submersed in the praise of other people. And people who are looking at you and talking about how, he said, don't do that. Find people who have excelled beyond you. Find people who are doing more than you. Find people who are smarter than you. Never be the smartest person in the room. The moment you become the smartest person in the room, you stop growing. So what happens when you're not the smartest person in the room? There's a level of discomfort of knowing somebody knows something you don't know, especially if you're a person who wants to know, not for the sake of competition, but just for the sake of being prepared. I want to know. So when what I do is I surround myself with people who know. I surround myself with people who are better than money than me. I surround myself with people who are better at business than me. I surround myself with people who have a stronger knowledge of all the things that I have in my own way mastered. So why? I am never in a place where I'm not growing. I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly learning, but I'm evolving to become what I have set myself up to be. So when I said that 2022 was going to be the most epic year in my life, it wasn't some abstract idea. That was numbers associated with it. That was an environment for my family associated with it. That was a level of engagement and ability to do for my wife and my family beyond what I've already done associated with it. That was a number of different people that I was going to impact in this world with my level of expertise. In other words, it wasn't just about me winning, it was about helping as many people win as possible. So not only am I going to win in an epic fashion in 2022, but I've also got to be directly involved in helping other people do the same thing. So in essence, what am I saying? I'm saying that I have to evolve. Same thing with you, excuse me. Thank you. Now, what I'm going to talk to you real simple here. What you think you become. Let me tell you something. If you want to simplify the equation of your life and you want to determine the quality of life, the quality of your life, it's real simple. Here is how. The quality of your life is going to be governed by 3 decisions that you make every day, all through the day. Every moment of the day, you're making 3 decisions, and you're making them in rapid fashion within milliseconds. You're making decisions constantly. And here are the 3 decisions that you are making, and they are going to determine the quality of your life. The first decision and the most powerful and important decision you make constantly throughout your day, every day, is what am I going to focus on? There are literally billions of things you can focus on at any given time that your subconscious has the capacity of focusing on, that your conscious can focus on roughly around 2,000 things in any given time. Now, how much attention you're giving to each one of those things is different. What you can focus, some of you can focus on the lighting in the room right now. Some of you could focus on the volume of the video that you're watching right now. Some of you can focus on how your clothes feel on you, how they hang on you. Are they comfortable? Are they tight? Are they warm? There's so many different things you can be focusing on. Right? Somebody's focusing right now specifically on what they can take from this message. Somebody's focusing on how they can get their life changed. Somebody's focusing on the idea that I hear him talking, but all that stuff never worked for me. Somebody's focusing on this is the day that I'm going to change my life. There are so many different things that you could be focusing on right now. And what you focus on also is what you feel. I want you to understand something. Your focus creates your feeling. Whatever you focus on will create an emotional response. If you focus on something and say, oh my God, I'm going to be late, that's going to create an emotion. If you focus on something and say, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job, that's going to create an emotion. If you focus on something and say today is going to be the best day of my life, it's going to create an emotion. Now, the emotion is going to anchor you into the reality of what you just sit on. And now you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with what you feel. So the first decision is, what are you going to focus on? The second decision is, how are you going to interpret it? What does it mean? See, 2 people can look at the same reality and see 2 totally different things. 2 people can sit up and say, well, I'm going to be late. One person is going to sit up and say, well, that's going to give me more time to prepare for my presentation. The other person is going to say, oh my God, everybody's going to be mad at me. That's going to create 2 different feelings, 2 different emotions. It's going to set the state. It's going to set how you respond to things, how you look at things. And then you got to determine number 3. The third decision is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do about this thing that you're focusing on? Are you going to use it to your benefit? Are you going to allow it to overpower you? Are you going to take control of it? What are you going to respond? So you have what you're going to focus on, how you how are you interpreting, what does it mean, and then what are you going to do about it each and every day? That's it. So what do you focus on? You got to learn to focus on the positive things. Here's a study that happened some years ago when they studied I think over 2,500 graduates from I want to say Yale. That 2,500 graduates from Yale, they made a study of 2,500 graduates, And there are a bunch of different questions they asked during this study, but there was a specific question that really caught my attention when I decided to review the study. It was a question about their current state and how they saw their lives currently, specifically currently, not necessarily what they were projecting into their future. These were Yale graduates, so I'm pretty sure they were expecting some things to happen in their life, but how they saw them things. And then they categorized these students into two categories: the optimist and the pessimist. They didn't use a middle grade, so a person was either categorized in the optimist or the pessimist, and basically it was going to be whether it was a negative view or a positive view of where you sit now, not what you were necessarily going through, but how you perceived it. And what they found is that the pessimist was actually more accurate in describing or determining their current state. They were more realistic and accurate based off of human fact and observation of what their reality was. The optimist seemed to see everything through a rose glass, that everything was a lot better than it really was. But check this out. 20 years later, they brought these same people, all of the surviving people of the study, they brought them back together 20 years later. Here's the power of the mind. The optimists had did significantly better in their life overall than the pessimist. The perspective through which they saw things set their expectations, and God meets you where? I've taught this for years. God meets you where? At the level of your expectations, never higher. So what you're doing is when you focus on something, you are also triggering an expectation based off of what you explore and what you determine. And so what happens? You either set the bar or you raise it. You lower the bar, you raise it. You're going to sit up and determine how life is going to be. The quality of your life is determined on how you manage those three decisions. What am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on the negative thing? Am I going to focus on the positive thing? Am I going to focus on the fact that I am designed to take on any challenge? Or I'm going to focus on the fact that there's a problem in front of me and oh, woe is me. This is why you can get distinct results from the same situation. You get two people that came from the same situation, same background, same everything, two totally different outcomes. Perspective. Perspective is the wild card. How you view things, how you sit up and you perceive things is going to determine. You've got to have a focus that leads you to something better. Your focus has got to be on the how do I create the outcome? The focus is going to be on where am I best at? The focus has got to be on finding the positive, finding the solution, finding what I need, not what's going wrong. Because the thing is, you can focus on what's wrong all day long. And if you don't have a mindset that seeks the solution, all it'll do is be wrong and you'll be stuck. But if you focus on the solution, if your mindset is always focused on the win, focus on the solution, focus on creating a better outcome, you look for the solutions. Therefore, your problems become puzzles, and puzzles are meant to be solved. And there's no such thing as something that stops you. An obstacle simply becomes a part of your journey towards your destiny. I cannot express that enough. One of the things I do with my clients is I prepare them to win by teaching them how to focus their minds, how to govern their thought processes, how to manage their thinking. I want to encourage you, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, learn how to manage those decisions. Those are decisions you're making every day, all through the day. What am I going to focus on? What does it mean? And what am I going to do about it? It's real simple. When you learn to sit up and say, I'm not focusing on that. I'm not going to focus on the negative. I'm going to focus on you. And that's the beauty of it. You choose with an acute sense of will what you're going to focus on. When you don't choose, your subconscious will choose for you. You don't want that. You don't want the arbitrary cognitive flow of letting your subconscious run away, because your subconscious is far beyond you. You can sit up and literally create roughly around 60 to 70,000 subconscious thoughts a day, subterranean cognitions that the conscious mind is not unaware of. 70,000. Imagine if you had to deal with all of those. So the conscious functions as a filter. The reticular activating system functions as a filter based off of what you focus on and what you give validity and priority to. So you choose what you're going to focus on. And then when you do that, the reticular activating system starts to focus and find the things that you have focused on. Now, if you're focusing on a problem, you just chose your reticular activating system. I'm looking for things that's going to stop me. And it's going to find. Your reticular activating system is your Google. If you tell it to find problems, it's going to find. If you tell it to focus on struggle, it's going to focus on struggle. But if you tell it to find solutions, it will find every last one of them. It's up to you. What you focus on, you will feel. What you feel will create an anchoring emotion that will settle you into that reality. Be careful what you focus on. On that note, I got to get out of here. Don't forget, if you haven't become a member of the Epic Realm community and you want 2022 to be the most epic year of your life, it's time to join. If you're ready to get rid of those limiting beliefs so that you can lift that ceiling and explore the limitless possibilities that life has to offer, get crushing limiting beliefs, and let's make some stuff happen. I'm out of here today. I got to get ready for a client, but I had to come in and see you this morning. I didn't get in as early as I wanted to see you because I've been in the office since about 5, but I didn't get a chance to get to you because I had some catching up to do on some paperwork. But I had to get to you and share that with you. I hope that it blessed you. I hope that it touched you. Whatever's going on in your life, understand that it's not bigger than your capacity to come up with a solution. God designed you and built you for this very moment. Now walk in it. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on eat. That's my challenge to you.